Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. For today, I'm going to be playing as the Mayans on Arabia. Obviously, this is 1v1 and ranked, so should be exciting. I'm currently at a 920 rating, so I'm assuming I'll be playing some tougher opponents here. And then, yeah, we'll see how we do. Let's go. Remise. Okay.
Tabiş, aşağı, şare, Utska. Tabiş,
Ashikesti,
şare, aşağı,
Sharei, Molonel,
şike, şastimban, şa, Utska.
You got me. Dang. 1v1? What's your rating? Oh, what? I could, but I don't think I would fare very well. You got, what is that, like 400 rating on me? That's true. That's true. Tell you what, you create a game, I'll join you. Hey, there we go. Okay, cool. What's up, Tilin? All right, starting the game. 3, 2, 1. You as well. Let's see what you got.
Oe, Pré, Kei, Pastisso,
Astiso,
Féfé, Maro, Oe, Maro, Pré, Maro, Féfé, Pastisso, Bûcheron, Kei, Maro,
Okay, we have found our boars, all of our gold.
Oe,
kefe, bûcheron,
Féfé, Maro, Pré, Château, Kei, Serp, Oil, Oe, Bé, Château,
keye, astiso, pre,
Kei, Pirax, Oil, Château, Pré, Château, Féfé, Pastisso, Maro,
oe, oil, astiso,
chasseur, Oé, libet, chasseur, prêt, Kéfé, Maro, prêt, chasseur, Kéfé, certes, Pérax,
Keye.
Kay, chasseur, Oé, certes, libet, chasseur, Kay, chasseur, oil, Pérax, chasseur, prêt,
Café. Sef. Bûcheron. Prêt. Keye. Mastisso. Café.
Café.
Prêt. Livré. Chasseur.
Oé, prêt, Kay, Maro, Oé, Pastissor, Minéor, Kéfé, Maro,
Ohé. Mastisso. Mastisso. Mastisso.
Oé,
Café. Barreau.
Kéfé, Maro,
Ohé. Keye. Bûcheron.
prêt, Kay, Maro,
Prêt. Pérax.
Oé, Libert,
Ohé. Mastisso. Bûcheron. Café. Bûcheron. Keye. Oil. Bûcheron. Prêt. Sef. Barreau.
Kay, Bûcheron, Pérax, Pastissor, 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 Kéfé, prêt, Maro, Kéfé, Pastissor, Bûcheron, Pastissor, 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 Pastissor,
Keye. Prêt. Mastisso. Mastisso.
Kay, Oil, Libet, Libet, Oil, certes, prêt, Pastissor, 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 Oé, Pérax,
Café. Pérax. Bûcheron. Ohé. Livré. Mastisso. Prêt. Oil. Sef. Bûcheron. Café.
Kéfé, Bûcheron,
Ohé. Mastisso. Keye. Mastisso.
prêt, Oé, Libet, Bûcheron, Kay, certes, Minéor, prêt, Pérax, Oé, Libet, Oil, Minéor,
Café. Mastisso. Mastisso. Ohé. Mastisso. Prêt. Pérax. Livré. Oh yeah.
Kay, Pastissor, Kéfé, Pastissor, Oé, certes, Pérax, Oil, Libet,
Que fait? Azot.
Keye. Bûcheron. Mastisso.
Pia. Libre.
Ohé. Sef.
Fait.
Prêt. Livré. Oil. Pérax. Mastisso.
Kéfé, Pérax, Bûcheron, Pastisor. Pastisor. Prêt. Pastisor. Pastisor. Pastisor.
Keyer. Livé. Bûcheron. Verax. Oil. Bûcheron. Bûcheron.
Cueilleur, bonjour.
Oé.
Kay. Certes.
Keyer. Cerf. Prêt. Que fait?
Prêt, Oyel, Libé.
Verax. Minéor.
Que fait?
Prêt. Libet.
Prêt.
Kay. Bûcheron. Bûcheron. Et bûcheron.
Prêt. Oil. Bûcheron.
Kay.
Que fait? À la bataille.
Féfé. Oil. Pastisor.
Oyel. Azol.
Prêt. Certes. Pastisor. Oé. Verax. Pastisor.
Keyer. Pastisor. Que fait? Pastisor.
Prêt. Pastisor. Kay. Féfé. Pastisor. Minéor.
Prêt.
Prêt. Da. Que fait? Cueilleur, Azol. Prêt, Libé. Cerf, à la bataille.
Oé. Libet.
Oé. Livé. Cerf.
Prêt. Oil. Certes. Verax.
Keyer. Pastisor. Pastisor.
Kay. Oil. Bûcheron. Oé. Libet. Bûcheron. Féfé. Bûcheron.
Cueilleur, Libé.
Prêt. Certes. Pastisor.
Que fait? Bonjour, certes.
Kay. Oil.
Que
Pastisor.
fait? Pastisor.
Cueilleur, Libé. Oyel.
Féfé.
Que fait? Certes.
Oé. Pastisor.
Prêt, Oyel. Da.
Prêt. Tilin. Verax. Libet. Certes. Pastisor.
Que fait? Libé. Oyel. Cueilleur, certes. Da. Prêt, Libé. Bonjour.
Oé.
Kay. Verax. Minéor. Oil. Minéor. Féfé. Pastisor.
Cueilleur, certes. Azol. Que fait? Oyel. À la bataille.
Oé. Pastisor.
Prêt.
Féfé.
Que fait? Verax. Pastisor.
Prêt, Libé. Certes. Azol. Cueilleur. À la bataille. Que fait? Da.
Prêt. Pastisor.
Cueilleur. Libé. Bonjour.
Oé. Libet. Oil.
Prêt. Certes. Azol.
Kay. Verax. Oé. Libet. Pastisor.
Que fait? Libé.
Féfé. Pastisor. Pastisor. Pastisor.
Cueilleur. Oyel. Da. Prêt. Certes.
Quite the good rush there, my friend. Had me on the ropes for sure. Whew. Very spicy.
Prêt. Pastisor. 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 Kay. Certes. Pastisor.
I do not have a Discord server.
Prêt. Oil. Pastisor.
That's something I can look into for sure.
Keyer. Cerf. Prêt. Livé. Pastisor. Bûcheron.
Féfé.
Keyer. Verax. Pastisor.
Oé. Verax. Pastisor. Libet. Pastisor. Prêt. Pastisor.
Oé. Livé. Pastisor.
Sounds good.
Kay. Certes. Pastisor. libé. Pastisor, 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 pastisor.
Je fais. Bonne joie.
Que fais, c'est
Oé, Pirax, Minéor. Pépé. Pastisor. Oé. Pastisor. Pastisor. Ok. Pastisor.
Oh yeah.
Ohé, bûcheron, pastisor,
Prêt, serre. À la bataille. Oh yeah. Je fais.
ok,
Prêt, à la bataille. Serre.
ok, minéor,
Rien, Minéo.
pré,
Fais, Mina.
ok,
Que fais
Prêt, oh yeah.
Rien.
ohé, oil, pastisor, pépé, bûcheron, ok, pastisor,
Bro, why?
pépé,
Goddamn.
ohé, libé, verte,
No wood to build a house. Ay, ay, ay.
pré,
I love it. I love it.
pépé, libé, pastisor, pirax, oil, verte,
Serre, bonne joie.
ohé,
Rien. Fais, Rien, Mina.
pépé, ohé,
Libère.
pré, libé, vilain, ok, pastisor, pastisor,
Je fais. Oh yeah. À la bataille.
I think that's a good indication for GG there. Good game. Hiya.
I come back. I don't know why, but I think the game has has crashed. So I'm going to open the game again.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. And how long have you been playing this game?
Uh, honestly, I played off and on with my family members. They play, but I wasn't really competitive until um, jeez, can't even tell you. I think it's been around like 3 months. I think it's been like 3.5 months since I started playing.
Okay. Well, that
Mm-hmm.
sounds better than me. And I started to play like like a year ago, but for me it take to get to 1000 elo
Mm-hmm.
like 8 months or maybe seven,
Oh
because
wow.
I
Okay.
started at 400 elo. So it
Nice.
was really
So you,
it
you
was
you really
really
started
difficult
from the
for me.
bottom. Mm.
Yes, because I've never played this game. Well, I played, but when I was a kid,
Right.
and I played
Same.
the campaigns, but no, I never played with another people
Right. Mm-hmm.
in the ranked match. So for the pandemic, I remember that when I was a kid, I used to play this game. So I download the free version from Bubbly,
Nice. Nice.
and I started to play it with some friends from my school. And then I wanted to why the DE, and I
Mm-hmm.
start to play ranked games, improve my elo. I participate in just a few tournaments, but for amateur level. It was for
Nice. That's cool.
professional or
All right.
semi-professional. And well, for example, participate in little tournaments
Hmm.
help me to improve my level, because when you play a tournament and you meet in different people from another levels, or also playing in a tournament, it's very different for playing in a ranked match, because you have to select a civilization, ban
For sure.
another ones, make a strategy, and not just for Arabia,
Hmm.
and for other maps, and that helped me for improve my skills.
I gotcha. How often do you play? Is this something you play every day, or do you do
Yes,
like just on the weekends?
to be honest, I am little bit addicted to this game, because I had a problem.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I broke up with my girlfriend the last year,
Oh
and I was
no.
a little bit depressed. And
I'm
then
sorry to hear.
I met this game, and I take a lot of appreciation for this game,
Hmm.
and love. And I started to playing a lot of hours. At the beginning, I used to play 8 hours a day, or maybe 9 or 12.
Dang. Wow.
But nowadays, I'm working and studying, so
Nice.
I play minimum 3 or 4 matches in a day. But if it's my free day, I
Hmm.
can play all the day. And when I say all the day, it's all the day. The 24 hours, or well, the maximum that I play it's 27 hours.
Jeez, that is a lot of time. So you pretty much are not rusty ever. So you're playing almost every day for at least 3 to 4 games a day. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's my goal for the day. Because maybe, yeah, another day I can tell you the story. But I stopped to play when I was, um, 100 no, 1100 elo,
Hmm.
because I was afraid to lose my points. But then I catch the idea that when you play ranked mode, always you're going to lose
Hmm.
some matches. This game is
Right.
make for win the 50% of your matches and
Hmm.
lose the other 50% for the matches.
Right. There's
So
no way to
if
win
yeah,
100% of the matches, right?
right. Oh, if you do that, you will be 2K or more than 2K ill if you win all the matches.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's the idea of this game, and I think that that's the part for being addicted, because the points doesn't have
Hmm.
I don't know how to say it, valuable. I don't know if it's correct the pronunciation,
Uh-huh.
that you give to the points, because these points are not money. They are not physic,
Right.
a thing that you can touch or see.
Hmm.
It's a thing that you make the valuable, and when you lose it, you are well, that's for me. You
Yeah,
are
for
afraid to
sure.
know, oh, no, I don't want to lose that points. I want to get my points again. And you start to playing another match, another match, another match, and
Right.
that was
That
running.
that mindset is definitely going to get you higher ranking because the people who are more competitive and take the game more seriously, then that's definitely that's going to help you gain elo for sure. That's kind of I play like maybe once a week for just a couple hours. So based off the facts that you told me, it's going to take me a very long time to get to your level.
Okay. You work, study. What do you do?
Yeah, so I work part time, and so I basically do IT, and then just some other life stuff that I have to do as well. But other than that, I try to stay pretty active and um,
Oh, so you have a life,
mhm.
apart from this game.
I guess you could put it that way. Yeah, and I also play other games too. It's not just Age of Empires. I basically just play Age of Empires to try to get better. Obviously, that's the goal there. Um, but I definitely just want to try to do at least 1 or 2 days a week, so I'm not super rusty, I suppose.
Oh, okay,
Hmm.
but don't worry. And I want to say, It's difficult for me speaking English because the idea is in Spanish, and then
Right. I
I'm
gotcha.
translating to English.
That's okay.
And
No problem.
what I want to say to you, okay, if you started, if you start to learn how to play the game
Mm,
correctly, and the elo is going to game alone.
for
If
sure.
you okay, the idea you understand.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
think. Okay, well, and I opened the game again, but my computer is like old toast. I don't know
Is it
if
still trying to
it's
load?
like
Okay. No, no worries. No worries.
okay. Oh no, well now I can see the matches. I play in a laptop that it's from 2013.
Are you playing a laptop?
Uh,
Oh, dang. Okay.
a laptop that
So imagine if
it's
you had.
from 2014. I have in minimum components
Yeah. Right. Right.
for playing games like GTA 5, for example,
Hmm.
and League of Legends. And that game doesn't work in my laptop. So
Jeez.
that's one of
Yikes.
the reasons why I play a lot of Age of Empires, because it's one of the few games that my
Hmm.
laptop can run, can play.
Nice. Yeah. Hey. I
Okay,
mean, you do what you got to do, right?
yes. Well, now I'm loading the match.
So like when you play a civilization, what thought process? Like, do you choose one civilization and play that the whole time, or do you like try to mix it up and play other civs as you
Okay,
get better?
I have an answer for that question.
Hmm.
To be honest, I pick my civilization,
You
but for
okay?
me, a real 100 and not 1,000, no, 1,200 elo.
Hmm.
And for be a real, you have to play in aleatory mode every day. If you play in that way, you can say I am real. For example, 1,000 elo. I am a real 900 elo.
Hmm.
Because when you pick a sieve, it's a little bit, or it's a little, uh, it's like a cheat. Because if you play just one sieve all the day, you know, do in the time, in a short period of time,
Hmm.
you will know how to play it. But for example, if all the day I play franks
Right.
every day, but one day I don't know why I have an idea, and I say, "Oh, no, now I want to play archers with Japanese." It's going to be very difficult. And maybe if you were in 1,200 elo, you will reduce to 1,000 elo again. And you say,
Yeah.
why? If I was more than that,
Hmm.
it's because I can say in a more simple way. I'm thinking.
I got you. So like if you play one civ and you get really good at that civ, you're gonna gain elo, but once you try to pick up a different civ, you're gonna go back down to what you really are because you don't know how to play that civ to like an expert level, I guess.
Yeah, yes. Okay, I have idea. First, for start to understand the basis of this game, it's better to start to playing with the scouts. When you really know how to play with the scouts, then you start to learn to play archers with man of arms. That it's
Gotcha.
more difficult, but it's better.
Hmm.
That happens to me. And the example that I give you a moment ago, that happened to me. And the last month, I reached my elo, but then I wanted to switch to archers, and I reduced to 1,100 elo.
I
And
see.
I say, why? And I started to get frustrated, and
Hmm.
I start to this idea that I don't want to play because I was afraid to lose my points. But then I take take a month to recapacitate,
I
and then
gotcha.
I start to play again.
Okay. That makes
Okay,
sense.
so first you have to learn how to play scouts. When you really know how to play the scouts and you know the basics, mm, conocimiento. I don't know how to say conocimiento. The basic knowing.
Uh-huh.
Then you can switch to archers and man of arms. So
Gotcha.
well, now we're going to see my point of view first, and then we are going to watch your point of view,
Sure, sure. Okay.
because I'm
Yeah,
going to
sounds
I'm
good.
going to explain you the things that you have to do when you play scouts.
Mm-hmm.
First, when you open this strategy, you up to feudal age with 21 pop. What is 21 pop? Pop. It's 20 villagers and the
Mm-hmm.
scout.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. If you started to get easy this strategy, then you can open with 20 villagers, then with 18 villagers.
Hmm.
But you have to do it correctly first when 20. When it's easy to you start to reduce the villagers and you started to reduce your time and you're going to be more aggressive and dangerous.
I understand. Okay.
Okay.
So
But
start off
in this
playing.
time in this time I try to play if I was starting to learn scout. So I open
Gotcha.
this time
So
with
start with
20
scouts.
villagers and the scout.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Okay. Now it's running.
So you start with
Okay.
scouts to try to play as aggressive as you can, right? And then once you get your build order down, then you try to reduce the villager count so that you can get up to feudal age faster with
Yes.
less villagers and still be as aggressive as before.
Just because in this level you win the match or you have more uh, percent of probabilities to win this game if you have the iniciativa. I don't have. Do you understand the word iniciativa?
No, I'm not sure. Sorry, bro.
Initiativa. Okay, how can I say it? If you okay, you win this game if you are the first attack every time
I
in
see.
this elo
So
on
if you play
maximum
aggressive first,
to 13 elo. The first that is going to attack and have more probabilities. Why? Because if you are in the base of your opponent, maybe you can deny and the archer ranks. Maybe you can deny and the villagers that are taking the goal. Maybe
right,
you can,
right.
well, a lot of things. Just if you have the this word, I don't know how to say it, but it's iniciativa in Spanish
Hmm.
to to be the first to be the first that it's going to attack.
Right. Okay.
So now, okay, first when you are ex- exploring your base, always you have to explore your base first in the front because I don't know if you have ever played with lammers, the people who steal your boar or your ships.
No, I've never played with people who steal my sheeps or boar.
Okay, that is going to happen to you in every elo. So you have to be very careful with that. For this reason,
Hmm.
every time that you are scouting your base, start with the front and then do the other parts of your base.
Gotcha.
Do you
Okay.
do you get my idea?
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
okay,
How come you only do 3 on wood and not 4?
okay. When you open scouts, it's
Hmm.
3 on wood. I don't know if you know that, or do you open with 4 in the wood?
I usually do 6 on sheep and then 3 or 4 on wood, and then I send
No,
the next villager to boar.
no. When
So,
it's scouts,
hmm,
with 3 on wood is exact. It's perfect. You don't need more villagers. When you
gotcha.
open
Okay.
archers or man of arms, or when you go FC fast castle, and you have to put 4 on wood.
Hmm.
Believe me. Okay,
So 3 on
so
wood for
next,
scouts.
and
Okay.
as the beginning, when you're scouting your base first at the front, also you start to wall in your base first on the front. never on your laterals of your base,
Hmm.
because if a rush is coming, or maybe the scout from the opponent is very annoying, and just and I don't know how to say it. When you, if this part is full volume, you are obligated to the other scout to go to this part of the phase. He's losing a lot of time, and you are getting protect in a more efficient way.
Hmm.
I don't know if you understand that part.
Yeah, for sure. So if they have to run around, then it gives you more time to either do something against their rush or so it just gives you more time to react in general, right?
Okay, so first, always scout in the front of your
Hmm.
base. If you find all your resources, then you can go to find the enemy. After that, start to wall in your base on the front and then on the laterals. Oh, I forgot something. Um, do you have no? Do you know any strategy to scout and find the base of your opponent?
I pretty much just know to find all the resources around your map first, and then once you do that, then you try to find your opponent's base by going across the map. But that's about as much as I know.
Okay, but how do you do that part? How do you mm, explore the base of your opponent? How do you
Uh, I
find him?
I usually just I usually do scout by waypoint. So I shift click around the map until I see the color of my opponent, and then that's when
Okay,
I kind of you know I look around the map that way, I suppose.
okay. First, that's a thing that you need to change. Don't shift with your scout, because if you start to shift,
Hmm.
don't pay attention to your scout,
Right.
maybe you can lose to the town center,
Yeah, I've
or
done
maybe
done that a
okay,
lot.
how can I say it? When you shift your scout, the scout search more slowly.
Mm,
Yeah, it's difficult, I know, but that's a thing that you need to change if you want to increase your level.
gotcha.
Always, it's better if you do it manually.
Mm, okay,
Do you explore your base with the ships,
I
or just
do.
with the scout?
Hmm. Yeah, that's something I've been doing pretty recently. Actually, I scout with either 2 or 3 sheep, and
Okay,
then the rest I just stay at home.
okay. Maybe at the beginning, you can explore your base with shifting the ships
Hmm.
at the beginning, but the scout always have to be in manually mode.
Gotcha.
If you starting to get more practice and it's getting easier to you, then you have to explore your base with the ships, but not shifting.
I see. Okay.
Do you get it?
Hmm.
Okay. So after that, and I was asking you if you know any strategy for search the base of your opponent.
Right. No, I don't know too many strategies around that. I just know to try to find like what the enemy is building or what your
Okay, okay,
opponent is building as like a like a military building so you can see what's coming, and that's
okay.
that's about it.
I I will teach you dot strategies, two strategies, but
Okay.
and today I'm going to teach you just one that it's the best for beginners. It's called Fulgore. Fulgore, it was a player that I also watch a lot of players of Fleet of Empires, a lot of streams, and maybe I like to learn about history of
Hmm.
and all players of all tournaments. So for that reason, I know this part of the story. So Fulgore was a player in 2003, I think, in the Doubt era or Capoch when they were younger,
Gotcha.
and they thought that he was cheating because he find the enemies very fast, very quickly, and they don't know why. So
That
they
is
banned him
cheating.
for the tournaments. After
Wow.
that ban, he teach the way that how he can find the veins. So for 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 that reason, this technique is fulgore. Fulgore is start to search the base with his scout, but just at the border of the map. Why? Because if you this technique not at the border, maybe you can catch the town center.
Hmm. True. Yeah,
So
it's
so
less
do it.
likely for you to run into the town center
So
if you're running the
so do it
edges.
around all the map, but just in the border. Make like this geometric figure, and I don't know. Pues cuadrado, cuadrado. I don't know how to say cuadrado,
That's all right. No worries. I
but
understand the basics of what you're trying to explain here. It makes a
okay,
lot of sense.
yes, because for example, if you uh, and wait a second, I'm going to start to uh, I'm going to start the rec again. Okay, now I'm searching like I said first in the front of the main base. Then I find my board, I find my woods, my ships, and then I start the technical glory. Okay, and at this moment,
Mm-hmm.
and why this technique is a good man? Because always you are going to define the base of our enemy. Maybe you can find the woods, or maybe you can find a gold or a stone mine. So that also can help you to find the base of our enemy. How do you know that the woods are from your enemy base? For example, these woods are not from your enemy because they are too short. This could be because are
Right.
more larger.
Mm-hmm.
So that is telling you that the opponent is very near. So at this moment when you are scouting the base of your
Gotcha.
opponent manually, you know that you have to be careful because the town center is near. So and this wood is example of that. When I was scouting, I
Mm-hmm.
find the berries and then I find your another wood. So when you find a large group of woods, you are near to the opponent base, so you have to be mm, you have to pay attention of your scout because you maybe you can lose the your scout with the town center.
Mm-hmm. It's probably more easier to see as well if you manually scout instead of doing the shift queuing.
Yes. Well, this part maybe you can do it with shifting.
Mm.
The technique that is from Fulgore, but exploring your base, you have to do it manually. If you find all your resources,
Yeah.
then
Yep.
do it the Fulgore technique with shifting.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
then when you start to do it more frequently, start doing manually. But
Mm.
this part I can allow to you to make it shifting. Okay?
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. For
Okay,
your
because
hotkeys, are you using hotkeys at all?
yes, I will see always my hotkeys.
Hotkeys?
Also,
Okay.
I thought that when I started to use my hotkeys, I increased like 200 elo
Hmm.
or maybe 300. Do
Dang.
you use hotkeys or no?
Yeah, I use a couple hotkeys. Yeah.
Like what? Tell me.
So for I keep the town center on H still, and
Okay.
then I actually have a programmable button on the sides of my mouse, and
Mm-hmm.
so I use that along with so I have both of those buttons as shift and control, so
Okay.
I'm able to easily, you know, assign control groups to whatever I need, but it's easier than to try to, I guess, use your pinky to hit control or shift. It's a lot easier for me at least to use my thumb, and then just I have all the hotkeys set up to where they are in the game. So for you know for like all the farm buildings, I have those
Okay. Okay.
on all
I
the
think
keys.
that you are using the old hotkeys, right? That are from the Age of Kings.
It's the ones that came standard with Age of Empires DE. It's the ones that are like
Yes, they are the standard.
QWER. ASDF. Right.
Okay, okay. I
Hmm.
asking you because I don't know. Because I learned to play with hotkeys when I was playing on Bubbly, and I used
Gotcha.
the HD. No, yes, the HD version that is
Mm,
different from the DD and
right.
it's different from the Age of Kings.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Okay, so okay, you have the town center. Do you have the economic buildings and the
Hmm.
military buildings?
Yes. Yep. Those
Okay,
are set to the like in-game hotkeys. So I have the hotkeys set to what they are. Like if if you want to build a production building, you would use Q, right?
okay,
Or
okay,
sorry.
yeah, okay. Q is from the DA.
Oh, okay.
I proved that hotkeys that it was the best for my fingers.
Hmm.
I'm the HD are more familiar for me
Right.
than the D. Okay,
It's probably a lot different for you than since I
okay,
started playing here in DE, so that's why I'm used to those by now.
okay. I want to teach you something about the hotkeys, and
Hmm.
there is a hotkey that it's very important in every elo. And you told me that you have H for the town center, right?
Hmm. Right.
So if well, it's not H for me, but if I press the button H, you will make this, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Go to the center. Okay, that's a good hotkey, but it's not the best because sometimes when you are exploring the base,
Hmm.
and it's not quite a good idea to return your point of view to your base because if a scout is continues exploring, maybe you can also catch the town center. So it's better to use. Okay, I'm going to need a translator maybe because I have the hotkey but in Spanish that is select the town center, but don't go to the town center. It's a different hotkey. It's this.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, okay. Okay, I have. Okay, okay.
So,
Give me 1 second. Okay.
uh,
No, what I do?
are you using two different hotkeys for that? So you have one hotkey that goes directly to to the town center, then you have one hotkey that just
Yes, yes.
selects the
Yeah,
town
it's
center.
different. It's different. For me,
I
that's
see.
my setup. Maybe you can use it. For go to the town center, I use the button that is like a wheel in the mouse.
Oh, use the wheel. Okay,
Yeah, I use the wheel
the scroll
to go
wheel.
to the town center.
Gotcha.
But when I want to select the town center that it's
Hmm.
different, I use a button that is near to my mouse.
Okay.
Like you told me that you have one.
Hmm. Right.
I use that to make the villagers because maybe okay wait a second. And I'm going to speak Spanish a little bit. Uptecista, ¿cómo estás?
¿Qué más, Tilin?
Bien, aquí estoy enseñándole a un amigo, el cual, excuse me, what? It was your name?
It's
Justin?
Justin. Hmm.
Ok. Estoy enseñándole a un amigo que acabo de conocer reciente que es Justin. Ahorita le estoy enseñando desde el 900. De repente lo podemos reclutar para el día sábado.
Ah, ok, excelente.
Sí, así que ahorita voy a estar enseñándole. Si quieres, te puedes quedar o no sé,
No,
como gustes.
entré de fisgón, pero fresco. Chao, chao.
Ok, nos vemos. Okay, that was a friend from my team. My
Oh,
team is
nice. Cool, cool.
ICK. If you want, you can join us. If you
Maybe when
want.
I get a little better. For sure.
Okay,
For
no,
sure.
no, no. And I tell to his name is Jose,
Hmm.
but in the name is Uptecista. Uptecista. Upte is a university from Colombia,
Gotcha.
and he's a student from that university. So in Spanish, it's like Uptecista, a person who study in the Upte University.
Nice. Okay. That's cool. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll add him in game if you want to send me that name.
okay. And at the end, I will
Okay, cool.
I will share the team and you can join us. Okay, I was telling you. Okay, if you this the select the town center, you can create more villagers and exploring the base of your opponent at the same time. Whenever you can do it please because it's very important. I will show you. The game is Spanish, but here it is.
Hmm.
Okay, this is options. This is our hotkey access. I think. And like I said, this is go to the town center, and
Gotcha.
I use the middle button of my mouse. It's in I okay. This word I don't know how to say in English, but it's the fair one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that's like
But
see controls.
yes, but I'm searching the other one that is select the town center. I don't know where is it.
Options. So
Okay,
it's a
okay. The second one,
cycle commands, right?
okay, cycle commands. There is go to the town center. The second option that
Right.
is gain commands maybe.
Yep.
In the second
Mm-hmm.
options, and there is select the town centers. And you know where is
Right.
it? Okay, here is select all the town centers.
I do have that set up as my I have it set up for Shift H. I have that set up.
Okay, maybe you can find another button, but this is very important. It's
Mm.
too important for increase your level and don't lose your scout, and also create your villagers. But because this is another thing that separate and the people who is in 900 elo and in 2000 elo.
Mm.
Always you have to create villagers and don't have inactivity in this building, because when you are not creating villagers, you are going to pass to the feudal age more lately. You
Yeah.
have if you are always doing these villagers, you're going to pass more early.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing that you have to work. That always you have to make villagers, and also exploring your base, and also micro the wood and micro the berries and micro the seeds, and
Right.
that's practice for do that
Mm-hmm.
in a same time.
It's a lot of things to keep
Yes, I know.
up and
And
running.
I want to ask you, are you recording this
Uh,
stream?
yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course.
Okay, so this file is going to be with you, and if you have any question, you
Mm-hmm.
can watch again. If you forgot, uh, I think that I teach you.
For sure. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tilin.
Okay, don't worry. Okay, so wait. So we continue exploring the base. So at this moment, I know that you were here, and I pretend to return my base, but I say no, no, no. I'm going to make if I don't find you. So I was doing all the Fulgore technique. But if I found you, I don't have to do this part. It was just for example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now, and as I told you, I was walling my base on the front. I built the barracks, make houses, always doing the front. Okay, this is another thing that is important. When you are the time that you are taking to pass to the feudal age, you have to put 4 villagers up, down to the town center, eating sheep. Also, 11, 11, 10, or 9 in the wood. Why? Because in just some cases you have to wall with 2 villagers. And how can I teach you this? For example, if there is no way that you have to start to wall in this part, it's very far from the town center. So if the other scout finds you this villager, and he can kill you. So
Mm-hmm.
for that reason, if you are too far from the town center and you see that, you have to send 2 villagers, not just one, like in this example.
Gotcha.
So for that reason, it wouldn't be an 11 villagers on the wood. It would be 10. Or
Right.
maybe if
Right.
you, I don't know, if you are under attack from FC, you have 1 villager walling here and maybe two villagers walling here. So you you have to put 9 chair or 11. The perfect is 10,
Mm.
but you can put one more.
So
in the
I
wood.
see you only have one lumber camp. Are you
Yes,
do you normally not build two?
I want to tell you that that's a bad habit for me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mm, just have one lumberjack because I'm
Mhm.
not perfect. I'm not the best player in the world.
What, Tilin?
So
Nah, you're way too good to be only building one town center.
uh, yes, and there is a reason why. And the other day, I wanted to change this habit, but I can't because I don't have the macro
Hmm,
to pay attention to this lumber camp and, for example, another lumber camp heap.
I see.
The other day, I was playing and I hear the bell that I was under attack, and I was watching this lumber camp, and I was, why this the belling is is making noise? I don't know
Right.
why. And here I lost
Since you
like
didn't notice
five
the one down
villagers,
there. Okay.
or maybe 6 or 7, and I lost the match for that reason. So
Hmm,
it's not a good habit, but maybe you can do it like me. Just make one lumberjack for pay attention in this part of the map. In a point of the game, you will in feudal age. I make the other one.
I see.
Okay, okay. I continue. So as I said, um, 4 villagers down the town center, four in the berries, and 11 or less, no less than 9 in the wood. So do you get that part?
Hmm. Yep.
Okay, okay. Now I'm doing this. Okay, so when I reach feudal age, here is a tip that it's from 1900 elo is the second best player from Peru that it's called Tempo and always make the military buildings.
Hmm.
Don't put it in the wall. Why? Because Tempo likes to play in, how can I say it, in a suppressive. It's correct.
So like
Okay, no, no, no.
he
In
likes to put
an,
him.
unexpected way. So maybe it's an example,
Uh-huh.
and he can pick Franks, but he's not to play archers with Franks. So
Hmm.
for that reason, always he make the military buildings not in the wall. They
Okay.
He make it apart from the wall, and it's better if you start to make this habit.
Hmm.
Just make the wall and then do the military buildings apart
So he
from
likes
this.
to play sneaky so that you don't know what units he's creating. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I start to make this habit. Also, because I wanted to be aggressive with you. I don't know if you know this. There is difference between one villager building and four villagers building.
Right.
When
Hmm.
you use one, there is a period of time. I don't remember the exact period, but
It's something like 35 seconds or 25 seconds.
yeah, right. But always you build a building
Hmm.
just with one or just with four. Why not two or why not three? Because one or two players don't make the difference. They make the building in the same time or just 1 second faster or 2 second faster. You don't see
Hmm.
the villagers that are making the building. Not with two, not with three. If you want to make a building faster, use four, not five. Just four. If you
Gotcha.
want to make it slowly, you have time, you are not under attack, use
Excuse
just
me.
one. In this case, I use four because I wanted to be aggressive.
Hmm.
So I use four villagers here. Also, there is another tip: make a gate apart from the wall. Why? If you're playing against some archers, the archers can open your wall here. If you want to wall a game, if they are playing archers, they are going to deny the wall that is behind your wall. So it's better if you make this gate apart from the wall and just delete
Oh, I
a
gotcha.
little part of the wall.
So it's
Just
probably
that.
safer that way. So it gives your villager protection to actually build it, right?
Yes,
And in case it
it's
can't build
like
it, then it's still there.
e- extra protection.
Hmm.
Okay, these are two tips that you can put in practice.
For sure. Totally.
Okay, so now we see all the things that are happening in my base. We're going to see in your base. And at the beginning, I told you that in this silo, you win this game. You have the okay. Just wait a second. I want to search the word
Hmm. Yeah, sure thing.
that it
So,
is iniciativa in Spanish because it's very important that
so
you know take
so
the
the person who plays more aggressive is going to be the winner,
yes.
right? At this elo, at least.
At this silo, I'm searching the word. No, what I am doing. English, English, English. Ahora, initiative.
Initiative? Oh, okay. I see.
Initiative. That's the word that I was requesting. You win the matches if you have initiative in this game. So,
Hmm. I see.
and there is a question for you. When you play scouts, there are three options. It's a question. It's not an affirmation.
Hmm.
You go to the opponent base with 2, 3 scouts, or just with one scout.
I mean, if it's are you talking about at the very start of the game when you're scouting or when you actually
No, no.
have
When you are
scouts?
actually in field age.
Usually I usually do like three or four, and then that's when I attack, but not just one. No.
Okay, so uh, that's another thing that you have to change, and I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
And maybe in 1050, no 50, yes, and 50 elo, you are going to play against some man of arms, and the man of arms are stronger than your scout. And 3 man of arms can kill you one scout or 2 scouts, and maybe if they micro, they can kill you three scouts. So you have to interrupt that attack if you go first to the opponent's base just with one scout. What we're going to do with this scout? Not kill villagers because a villager can it has I don't know. Okay, let me
Hmm.
search this word. In Spanish is telar that give you protection for the villagers. Loom,
Oh, loom. Okay.
loom.
Right.
A villager with loom can kill you your scout or maybe can make a lot of damage, and that the scout is going to be okay. Let me search another word. Um, inservible, useless
Mm.
because when a scouts have a little HP can interrupt the galleries or the barracks or the stables. So that's why um, with the first scout, you don't kill villagers. You are like annoying, for
Hmm.
example. And okay, give me a second. I think that I interrupt your wall with this scout.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay,
you
that's the thing
killed
that
my
you have
villager.
to do. Just with one scout, and I'm going to tell you why in Feudal Age and not in Dark Age. Because when you are in Dark Age, you have 1 point less of attack. And the scout, when is in Feudal Age, and increase 1 more point attack free.
Gotcha.
With this point, yes, it's point, right?
Mm-hmm.
With this point of attack, you can kill the villagers. In Dark Age, you cannot do this.
I
Just
see.
in feudal.
Okay.
And when you're in feudal age, you start to be annoying, interrupt the wall. Maybe if I search or if I catch your stable more quickly, I could interrupt your stable, and that time that I'm denying to you to make military buildings, you are increasing your probabilities
Mm-hmm.
to win the match.
Okay.
So for the next time, just with one scout, go to attack.
So
Don't wait the
you
second scout or the third scout.
okay.
You have to whenever your stable is ready, and put the wait a second. I'm going to search the word. Punto de
Okay.
reunión. Punto.
So that's why you try to get to the feudal age really fast so that
Yes,
your one scout can deal a lot more damage than in Dark Age.
that's correct. And you put the stable, the meeting point, in the base of your opponent, not in your base.
I see. Okay.
Do you see? Here's my stable,
Mm-hmm.
and here's my meeting point.
Yeah, it's a smart
Do you
idea.
see?
I don't use that in my games. So that's definitely a really good tip.
Okay,
So far, these are really
and I
nice.
will tell you, why. Why you have to do this quick attack? Because a pike bank, I think it's correct the
Mm-hmm.
word.
Yep.
Okay, a pike man and can kill you the scouts. So you have to these activities before the pikeman is coming. So always do it this action and faster as you can. Do you understand me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
You have to avoid the pikeman, and then I'm going to teach you another tip when the pikeman will come. Okay, I kill you this villager. Then you reach this feudal age, and I want to, for example, this is well. Imagine that my scout was here. You have to. This game, it's about making decisions. That's a reason why I love this game, because in the real life I have problem for take decisions. I very indecisive.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
But this game, believe me, it starts improving my make decisions and help me in the real life because, for example, in this case, there is 5 villagers that makes 3 points of attacks and three plus five. I think is 15 damage. I think so. In this case, for example, it's not a good idea to attack your villagers because I'm going to receive more damage than the damage that I can make due to you.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so always you do the activity that I teach you a minute ago. When you see a villager that is alone, like in this case, I watched this villager that was alone, and I don't know if I kill you, but I make you more damage. And so here I was late. If I catch you more quickly, I can deny your stable.
Mm-hmm.
So here's another tip that is very important. That is just when you play scouts, and the other one is playing scouts too. Um, I don't. Well, I think that you don't know, so that's why I teaching you.
All right.
When
Yeah,
you're
that
playing
sounds good.
scouts against other scouts, pikemans are not a solution, and I will tell you why. The pikemans are more slow than scouts. And do you remember that I was running in your base and you were trying to follow me with the pikemans, and,
Yep.
and you never catch my scouts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when you are playing scouts against another scouts, don't make pikemen. The answer are scouts.
I see. Okay.
The pikemen are a waste of time when you are playing scouts. Pikemen are useful when you are playing maybe man of arms or archers, but
Hmm.
not when you are playing scouts. So that's another important tip that you have to do in your next match.
Okay. I'll do that for sure.
Okay, because why? There is a thing that I'm going to explain. Meanwhile, I'm and the reg is continue. No, no, no. I can do it. I can do it both things at the same time.
That's okay. No worries.
It's a difficult thing to do. Okay, if you're under attack like this way, this was a good idea to wall your resources like this wood
Mm-hmm.
and this wood. This is what wood. After you wall your resources, if you are not completely full wall, make the scouts. In this case, for example, if here it is four scouts with one scout, you are not going to kill my four scouts. In this case, you have to go to defend with four scouts or three,
Hmm.
not with one.
Gotcha.
It's difficult to think the idea in Spanish, then
No, it's
say it
okay.
in
I
English.
I totally understand what you're saying. So it's better to make scouts to beat incoming scouts and not pikemen, since the pikemen are too slow. So you can just run around and find other villagers that are either alone or if they only have two, then you're more easily able to kill them. And since my
Yes.
pikemen never actually reach you, it's a waste of resources for me to build them in the first place.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
That's why. And also, I will tell you another reason why it's important to go with your first scout to the opponent base. Because if you're under pressure, it's impossible that you can attack my base because first you have to defend from these scouts.
Right.
So if I'm first on your base, I have the time for wall my base.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's another reason why always you have to be the first that is going to attack for many reasons. For complete your wall, for deny some military buildings, for deny the wall,
Mm-hmm.
for deny houses that sometimes happens that you are very close to be housed and you deny a house. That's a good point
Yeah.
that is killing some villagers to the opponent. I'm going to explain you this.
Mm-hmm.
There are two ways to killing villagers to the opponent. First, that is obvious, killing the villager. But the other way to kill villagers is when you make the opponent town center inactive. For example, I don't know. I'm going to search. We are going to search the rec again, but if with your point of view, if there is 1 minute or 2 minutes that you
Yeah.
don't make villagers, there are villagers that were supposed to born but never born.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
villagers are like villagers dead. I don't know if
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
get my idea.
Yeah.
So there are
Absolutely. Absolutely.
two ways to kill the villagers. So there is another reason
Mm-hmm.
for make the pressure always at the beginning. Okay. Well, now I'm going to explain what I was doing here in your base because I wanted to make a good economy. Uh, I want to complete my economy, finish my wall. Here are two options. If you okay can came with the first scout, the name, the wall, maybe one house, you kill one villager, two villagers, and at this point, the opponent, because this tip that I give you a seconds ago that scouts are better for the scouts, top payments for the scouts.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your opponent doesn't know this tip, so he's going to make pigments. I'm pretty sure that he's going to do that. in this point, obviously, it's not a good idea to kill the pigments because the pigments are stronger than scouts.
Right. Yep.
So what do you do in this point? You,
You run around.
I'm thinking idea in English. You are, you can earn, earn earning time if you are running in the base of your opponent and he is wasting time trying to catch you with the pigments because he's never going to catch you. So what do? Start to pass with the for the woods, pass for the gold, pass for the berries, and this time that the opponent is focused on killing your scouts, and you are earning time for complete your wall and complete your economy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the other thing that I was doing here because I know that it's a bad fight if I fight with for the payment. So I was earning time doing this, and at the same time I was making my economy. If you find a villager alone, you kill him.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the wreck is going to end. So I'm going to explain you the build for scouts and scouts unites.
Hmm.
Always you have to put 10 in wood. Mm, not 11, not 12, just 10. Why? Because when you put 10 in wood, there is a exact amount of wood for make farms and also finish your wood. If you put 11 or 12, you're going to have an. Wait a second. I'm going to search the word. Exceso is the word.
Mm-hmm.
Exceso. Exceso.
You'll have more
Exe-
than you're able to spend, right?
yes, an excess of wood
Mm-hmm.
that is not used properly.
Yeah.
Just put 10. In the gold, just put 5. And farms, the goal is to make 16, 70 farms. It's
Gotcha.
better if you make 18 or 19, but with 17, you are perfect. For example, if you get this goal that you have 10 in wood, 16 farmers, and 5 in the goal,
Mm-hmm.
you make the wheelbar. After you make the wheelbar, you click to Castle Age.
Right. Okay.
So here the wheelbar is getting investigate. I make the second building because I forgotten. So for for this one, I take 4 villagers to make it faster. And in this period of time, what are you going to do? Build the second stable. I'm not going to explain you with just a little bit of mathematics why 17 farms are the current amount of farmers for make 2 stables and the villagers. A villager cost it's 50 foot, right?
50 food. Yep.
50 foot, right? And a knight, it's a 60 foot, right? A 60
Yeah.
foot. It's like a villager.
Mm-hmm.
So with mathematics, with 6 farms, you have enough farms to make 1 villager. With 6 more farms that are 12, you have for 1 stable and the villager. And 12 plus 6 is 18. With 18 farms, you have the amount for make the 1 villager and 2 stables. Never do 3 stables at the beginning of castle age or 4. Just make 2 if you have 17 farms.
I see. So
Okay.
you have to add
Also,
6
tell me,
more
tell me.
farms if you want to add one more stable.
Yes, if you want to add 1 more stable, you have to add 6 more.
Gotcha. Okay.
Also, there is another rule for Castle Age that you always have to follow.
Mhm.
When you play knights, the knights are stronger than the archers, just in case they have more numbers than the archers. If the archers have more numbers than you,
Mm-hmm.
the archers is going to kill you. So when you play in Castle Age, never make a second town center before you have the 17 farms and I think it's seven or nine in the gold mine for make a continuum produce of villagers and the knights. As I told you at the beginning, in Dark Age, you always have to make villagers.
Hmm.
You don't have to stop to make for any reason. That's the same idea for the stables. You have to make knights every time. You don't have to stop the production for every reason. When you have this continuum production, then you build the second town center, and you
Mm.
add six more farms for
Right.
this town center that it's built. And if you want another town center, you build and make six more farms. That's a rule you have to do. But always first make a economy that it's perfect for make a continued produce of true stables and a town center.
Okay.
Also, I forgot to tell you this. And when you are, I don't know if you know this. When you are in the period of going to Castle Age, make the economic upgrades like the lumberjack upgrade.
Yes.
Uh, how this is called in English?
It's the horse collar.
The horse color.
Hmm.
Make it for the next age. There is another rule. Okay, definitely you have to make this video again. I'm pretty sure because there is another rule that you have to follow.
Okay.
Never pass to the next age. No, no. I I I teach this the other day. Wait a second. Okay, when you are passing to Castle Age, you have to make the economic upgrades. When you are in Castle Age and you want to pass to Imperial Age, always first make the economic upgrades
Hmm.
before click to Imperial. And I'll tell you why. In Imperial Age, the goal is near to be empty. So you are going to be dependent of the wood and the farms. So for make a more efficient economy, you have to be in Imperial Age minimum with the economic upgrades minimum. If you reach Imperial Age, it's better if you make the Imperial upgrades and your economy is going to be better. But never click to Imperial if you don't make the ah if you don't make the economic upgrade.
Right. Yep. I understand what you're saying. What villager population do you normally go up to Castle Age? Since I saw it was like 33 population.
It's okay. It's not population. It's villagers
The
for the
villagers. Okay.
castle. Okay, it's around 34. The perfect is 34. If you pass with more villagers, it depends on the game, and I explain you. For example, if you were under attack a lot of archers, you have
Hmm.
to make a lot of skirmishers, and if you have to make more skirmishers, that's going to uh, reduce the time for go to no increase the time for castle age. So
Hmm.
in that case, you will not pass with 34. You maybe will need to pass with 40 villagers or 50 villagers, depends on the game.
I see.
But in
Okay.
a game standard, try to pass with 34 villagers.
Okay.
But
I'll keep that in mind next time.
if you have more than 34, it's correct. No, don't worry about that.
Would you ever go up sooner than 34? Like if you say like 30 or 28
Mm,
villagers,
no,
would you go up
try to
sooner?
no try to do it always with 34. Why not
Mm.
for less than 34? Because if you have less than 34, maybe you have less villagers on wood, or maybe you have less villagers on gold or farm, and that
Oh,
is going
okay.
to make you not a good economy for castle age. So always
Gotcha.
try to make 34 or more, not
Hmm.
less.
Okay.
So okay, we're going to castle age. As you see in this point, I'm going to make knights from those stables all the time. I'm trying to make it continually. If I don't do it, it's because well, my economy is perfect. That's a thing that always I'm trying to do it better. But that's the idea.
Hmm.
Always I'm doing two knights, a villager and two knights. Well, the upgrades of the knights, villager and two knights, villagers and two knights. Ah, there is another thing that is important, and that's the last one for this point of view. Um, the knights. What do you think? It's better to make the. Okay, I'm going to show you this. It's better to do the defense or the attack upgrades for the knights.
Uh, I guess in your case, it's better to do the defense so they
Yes,
survive longer. Since they
yes.
already
Always do the defense first.
mhm.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
For
At the end, do the
for
attack.
cavalry.
Never do the attack first. Why? Because a knight it's like a tank unit that receives
Mm,
more damage. So if they can receive more damage every time, they are better than if they have more attack. It's another rule that you have to follow.
I
In
see.
this case, it was a mistake for me to make the how is the name of this building?
The barracks?
It's not
Pretty
the
sure it's the
barracks.
barracks. Oh, sorry, the blacksmith. Blacksmith.
The blacksmith.
Hmm.
The blacksmith. It was late, but when you are passing to Castle Age, you have to make the first defense attack, and there is another rule. Maybe you have to take notes for the things that I'm telling to you.
Hmm.
Always is better to make more numbers than than the military upgrades, and I'll tell you why. What do you think it's better? Fight knights with the first attack defense or three knights with the second attack defense?
I would say the five knights with the first attack or the first defense, since usually
Yes,
numbers is more. It's better to
it's more
have more
important.
numbers, right?
Yes, always that's another rule that you have to follow. Always make more numbers than the
Mm,
than the military upgrades.
right.
When you have maybe 10 or 12 knights, you make the second defense.
Okay, that sounds
So
good.
so so try to do this. Well, at this point, the match is it looks for you because you are
At
in
this
feudal
point,
age.
yeah, right.
I have a siege. So in this part of the game, that doesn't matter
Yeah,
because
you're already
uh,
through my walls, and it's just game
so
over at
so,
that point.
so at this point it's game over.
You're right, right.
So now we are going to watch your point of view and correct some mistakes that maybe you make. But give me 1 second. I want to go to the bathroom again,
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
and also take a glass of water because I'm speaking a lot and
Yes.
my throat
Okay,
is requiring some water.
that
Give
sounds
me a
good.
second, please.
Yep, sounds good. I'll be right back as well.
Okay.
Use the bathroom break here. Hey, what's up, Tilin?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, perfect.
So, okay, before we watch your point of view, I want to tell you something. The idea of the coaching is that you, at the end of the class, we're going to say it this way, you have to be able to do like a auto coaching for yourself. So in this time, we're going to watch the rec in your point of view, and you're going to tell me what are the things that you think that you are do it good and you are doing bad.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
and the idea is that I teach you something that you can put in practice.
Hmm.
Maybe if you can ask me if you have another question that I don't teach you today or you don't remember, but there are a few things that, that you have to correct yourselves.
Hmm.
Why? Because where there is a like a I don't know how to say it, a psychological thing that you don't have to be dependent of me. You have to be independent by yourself. You have to be auto-sufficient
Hmm.
for understand your mistakes and correct to be a better player.
Right. Yeah, that sounds
Where
like a plan. Okay.
where I'm going, tell me.
Yeah, no problem. So if you want to start the game, uh I usually start the game with six villagers under for sheep, right? And then I always do four on wood. Um what you were saying before to have three on wood, it
Yes,
is that specific to Franks or is that specific to all classes?
scouts, the
Okay,
scout
just
classes.
for just for scouts.
Scouts.
Gotcha.
The scouts for FC Fast Castle
Hmm.
or Manual Art to archers is four.
I see. Okay.
Also in Arabia, in other maps there is another. How do you say it? Another
This is like a build order.
another
It's like a
build order.
uh-huh. Okay.
It's another one. This works only for Arabia.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, just at the start of the game, just building two houses. Once I get my sheep, I put one under the town center and then I try to scout with those two.
Okay, I'm going to catch your point of view. Okay.
And so like you
Well,
said before, to not use waypoint scouting on your scout, but it is
yes,
okay to use waypoint scouting on your sheep, right?
yes.
Okay, perfect. So I usually try to do like just like a circle around my base with my sheep, and then I use my scout to try to find my gold and my boars and the stone.
Mhm.
Um,
Always, and I tell you,
mhm.
and try to start scouting in front of your base, never on the left of
Right,
it.
right. So in that case, that is also another issue, is because I don't exactly know where the front of the base would be, because at least I don't look at the whole map. I just look at where my town center is and where I can wall up easiest. That's where I start walling, is
Okay,
which tree line is closer to me that I can wall safely, and that's usually towards the back where the rest of my villagers are. Um,
okay. That's a thing that
mhm.
you have to say have to change.
Yeah, right.
How do you know if where is the front of your base? Look just the mini map.
Mm.
For example, here, if you look the mini map, which you think is the front?
The front would be straight across to the left corner, right?
This
It'd be
part
the left corner.
or this
Well, at
left?
right at the left part. Yeah.
Yes, this could be better in this case, and I will
Hmm.
tell you why I forgot to teach you this. Um, it's important to wall always your how can I say it, your important resources for like for example the berries.
Hmm.
So here it's another tip that not always happens. In this case, your berries are in the front, but in other case, your berries could be behind. But in this
Right.
case, make the wall for protect the berries. And how you protect the berries? Imagine that you use the space of a house,
Mm-hmm.
and after this house, start the wall. Why? Because if archers come, he have to first attack the house, and then he would attack the villagers. This
Gotcha.
house is protecting your berries.
So that's why you always
Always,
put the house in front of the berries first.
yes, not exactly in front. Use a house for, it's like a reference
Right.
for the space,
Mm-hmm.
and after the reference, make the house. Not here,
So like
here.
2 to 3 tiles away, that's where you want to build a house. Your first house,
Yes,
or is it
yes.
just okay?
Two or three maybe.
2, 3.
In other cases, it could be not the berries, it could be the goal. For example,
Mm-hmm.
here, you can start with 2 tiles, and they make the house and start the wall.
Gotcha. Okay, that's definitely a good point to keep in mind.
Yes, we continue. Okay,
So
foreign wood,
the
that we
foreign
know
wood.
that's incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
So here, I think you would go to the board, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So I got the first boar after that. Um, and then we start getting berries. For Frank specifically, how many do you have on berries? Is it 4 or
Always four.
always 4?
Always,
Okay, gotcha.
always. Don't worry. In specific times, maybe you would need more than four. For example, if you lost, so okay, there is a mistake. And if you lost one sheep or
Mm-hmm.
two sheep, in that case, you put one more. That it's compensating the sheep that you lost.
I see.
Just in that case, but always just put four. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you, here is a mistake. And don't put five. Why you put another one?
So I made another one because that's at least in the build order, I believe that's it was saying to put 5 on wood. So it would be 4 on wood, and then at the very end of the build order, it's to put one more to make 5 total.
Yes, at the end, when
Right.
you are in the 18 villager, the 19 and 21 goes to the wood. But you're in 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay, okay. So excuse me. I
It's
didn't see that.
okay. No, it's not a problem. It's still there's still a lot of things I have to learn for that reason.
Okay, here is another problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, recently I teach you the tiles,
Right.
but for example, here it's about barrack, and I will tell you why. Well, first there is another mistake that I watched it,
Mm-hmm.
and you told me that you started to explore the base in a circle, right?
Right.
Okay, for the next time, when you find the resources, um, how can I say it? Wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, explore until one tile of the woods, maximum. If you explore more than this, for example, all this part, it's a waste of time because this time that you are exploring this part of the
Mm-hmm.
base, you have to be trying to make the full gore technique. Do you remember?
Right. So try to stick to
Or
the edges of the map and then work around in a square, right?
yes, two or two or one tiles around the woods. No more. After
Mm.
that, go and make the full gore because it's important to make the first attack that you know where is the opponent. If you don't
Right.
know where is
Okay.
it, you can make the attack. For example, that's a mistake
Yeah.
for bad exploring.
True.
That it's going to happen to you, but with the practice, you are going to
Mm-hmm.
do it. You're going to do it better.
Okay. Perfect. And then yeah, since it's already, almost 8 minutes, I still haven't clicked up to feudal age because I have too many villagers. That's right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, there is another thing that I teach you. Remember, when you are in a period of passing to Dark Age to Field Age, put. Do you remember how many villagers on wood?
So it should be 10 on wood, right?
Yes,
After you click up.
9 or 11. 10 is perfect.
Yeah.
And well, also here is a mistake. Well, under the town center, do you remember how many?
So it should be 8 total,
Mm,
right?
no, in the process that you are passing to field.
Sorry, are you able to repeat that?
In the process that you are okay. Just wait a second.
Hmm.
After the loom, here in this point
So
that
at
you are passing to field age.
uh let's see. You should have 4? Is it 4?
Four, right? It was four for the ships,
Oh, okay.
and the four on the ships, four on the berries, and 10 or more
Hmm,
in the wood.
gotcha.
Okay,
So right
here
now
is
I
a
have
mistake.
too many.
Why you were collecting gold? Why?
So I was collecting gold because I guess it's out of habit. I usually always have 2
Okay,
on gold.
that's a for example, this is a big mistake. All the
Hmm,
things that we were checking were just a little bit, but this is a big, and I will explain you. Always think what why what you are doing that. For example, why you are picking gold? Are you going to play some archers? Are you going to play, or you're going to pass castle age after you reach
hmm.
feudal?
Uh,
Why you pick?
so normally I do men at arms into either archers or scouts. So
Okay.
that's why I normally go gold early.
Okay, so well, there is another mistake. When you open scouts,
Hmm.
always open scouts and only. Don't open man of arms plus scouts, because that requires a lot of wood. Excuse me, a lot of food
Hmm.
that have to be direct to the economic upgrades. That's it's not a big waste, but it's a little bit of waste of wood in the man of arms.
I
That's
gotcha.
incorrect.
Okay.
Also, when you well, it's not quite a mistake, but that will
So it's just
affect you a little bit. No, no,
right.
there,
So it's
there is
too
another thing
early.
that I want to tell you. Scouts to archers. If you do that strategy, you have to be a lot of time feudal age. It's like a
Hmm,
all-in strategy, because scouts and archers are like team game composition of army.
gotcha. Okay.
So that composition, it's not quite common
Hmm.
on one versus one. It's better to play scouts and maybe some skirmishers if the other one is playing in archers, or
Okay.
maybe pikemans if there is a lot of scouts. Or there is another example that I will tell you in another moment. There is a moment when you maybe can play scouts and pikemans when, for example, and the other one have 12 scouts, 15 scouts, 20 scouts. That this could happen. In this case, you can make pikemen, just in case that the other one has more scouts than you.
Hmm. So
It's
in
a
the
it's
case
a
of
it's a, in a specific time.
right. Okay. So it's just not good to get gold in the Dark Age. You should wait
No,
until you
no.
enter feudal age to get gold.
Yes, always think before doing activity why you will do this activity. Why I'm picking gold? Because I want to go man of arms.
Hmm.
I'm going to pass quickly to castle age. If I'm not going to do any of that options, don't pick gold.
Gotcha.
Focus on wood and food.
Okay.
Or always think in that composition. For example, there is another rule that you have to follow. um, Always you have to pass to castle age only if you have army. Never pass to castle if you don't have army. Why? Because if other one counterattacks you, you have to defend your base. And if you are passing to Castle Age and you don't have army, you are uh, vulnerable
Mm-hmm. Right. So you
to the composition of the army. So always pass only if you have army. If you don't have army, don't pass to the next stage.
would you go up to the next stage if you're fully walled?
Uh, there is an exception. If you're playing against scouts, yes. If you're playing against archers, no, because
Hmm.
archers um, can kill the wall.
Okay.
Also, for example, do you remember that I was here with 4 or 5 scouts?
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Okay, in this case, if you have 4 or 5 scouts, you can start to thinking to pass to Castle H, even if you lose the scouts, because these scouts against the pikemen are not more useful. They are like a distractor.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, you can pass because it's like it's like trash. These scouts
Right.
are useless.
Yeah.
You can
They're just made to be annoying, right?
yes, you can start to think to pass to Castle Age. It would
Mm.
be different if in it's an example. I had the scouts and you had archers, and I lost the scouts with to the archers. You can pass to the Castle Age because the archers are coming to your base. In this case, you have to put skirmishers, and that is. Wait a second. I'm going to search a word. Retrasando. That's delaying your pass to the castle.
Understood. Okay.
Okay, so it's like decision time that if you make it wrong, you can lose the match. But there is another thing that it's important to think.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry to take a decision, because if you don't take a decision, you are losing at that moment. Always take a decision, even if you are not sure about your decision, because if you make a decision and mm, it sounds good for you, no, the word is it's not it sounds good and it works to you to win. But if you take a decision and after that decision you lose the army and you lose the match,
Mm-hmm.
you know for the next match that you don't have to take that decision. That decision
Gotcha.
is incorrect, so for the next match, that's a mistake that you have to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
But always make a decision. If you don't make decisions, you are losing in that moment.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So for this one, it was a bad decision to go on gold, since I was gonna do scouts anyway.
Yes,
Um.
for the next time, don't pick the goal
Right.
and
For next
focus
time.
on the wood and the foot. Here it's 4, and well, this fifth is unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
For example, do you remember that I teach you here that I was bowling my base with just one villager
Yeah.
because it's quite near, but it's not near from the town center. Here in your base, this is far. How
Mm-hmm.
many tiles are from the town center? More
Yeah.
than my
Way
base,
more.
I think. In this
Yes.
case, you send 2 villagers, not one.
Okay. So if
Be-
you're far away from the town center, then send two. But if you're closer,
yeah,
then only use one because you can make it back to
exactly,
the town center in time.
exactly. Remember that I give you this villager because
Yeah.
was alone.
Yeah, she was also low health too.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried about that. I was trying to get away with just using one villager and a villager that was already damaged. So that was just a super big error on my part.
Mm-hmm. Pay attention to that. Send the villager for make the wall that has in full HP points. Not this. These
Hmm.
are um, not the stronger.
Yeah.
Are
It's
weak.
just a bad idea, right?
It's
Since
a
you,
bad it's a bad idea.
yep,
Okay.
you killed her
So
instantly.
so for example, okay, where this is a mistake that you don't see in this time, but it's because you don't find my base, so you don't know where I am. So
Exactly. So I don't know where you're coming from.
if you know that I was here, first you have to wall this part, not this.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a mistake that came from not scouting correctly.
Right.
This game also happens this a lot of time. There are mistakes that I like that are like a snowball.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little mistake
It
that
starts small, but
follows
then it
a
builds
lot of
up.
mistakes that makes you a big mistake.
Yeah.
So for next time, scout with full gore technique, and you will know that first this was the part from the base that you have
Hmm.
to wall, not this,
For sure.
because I never attacked you from this part. You were open here for all the match.
Yep. Yep. You stopped me from being able to close up that side. So it was just it was pretty much game over at that point.
Not getting over. Why? Because okay, if you lose one villager, two villagers, three villagers, it's not the end of the war, but you have to play defensive mode. What do
How
you
would you
do?
play in this situation?
If you are open, it's a quick reaction. Wall your wood, wall your berries, and wall this wood.
Okay.
It's an instant reaction. You don't have
So
to think in that moment. If I wall and I have pressure, wall my resources.
I see. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. Why? Because if I how can I say it? If I sending a lot of scouts and I can kill you villagers, you are earning time for prepare your defense. What do
Mm-hmm.
you do? Wall your resources, and then do you remember that if you want to build a building faster, you pick four villagers
Yeah, use 4.
here. You pick the four that are from the berries, build a stable. When I'm losing time to trying to enter and kill your villagers,
Mm-hmm.
you maybe have two scouts for defending from this.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I only built the barracks with one villager, and so it took forever to actually get up. Um,
Mm.
and then I actually never made the scout until it was it was already too late. Since I kept making pikemen, since you were making scouts, and then you just kept um doing circles around my base, so my scouts, even though I had like 15 or 20 scouts, it didn't matter since
Yes.
you were able to just keep
Also,
running
there is
around.
another reason why scouts are better than pikemen.
Hmm.
Trash units are better for the proposite, be a counter unit, but that's it. It's not a unit that can villagers, can destroy buildings.
Hmm.
They're just countering. Always are going to be better units like scouts, knights, or archers. Never pikemans or camels or skirmishers. They are not quite as strong than the other ones.
Gotcha.
So that's another reason why you don't make pikemans. You make scouts, and if you
Meet the
kill
scouts
my
instead.
scouts, you go to a base to attack. If you imagine that you kill my scouts in this case, if you go to the pikemen, you will take a lot of time to kill my wall to enter, so
Yeah.
that's not a good idea. Okay, so
First one down.
okay, here, well, it's not your fault. Maybe you can wall from this wood to this wood. It was
S-
shorter.
Yeah, okay. So I guess I walled farther out since all of my gold and stone were really far away. So the only one close by was
Mm.
at the front of my town center. That's the only gold I had available, so I wanted to try my best to wall it off so I could protect it in case you showed up with, either
Oh,
more knights or archers. And it gives me more time to react since you have to walk further in when you
okay.
break
There
into
is
my base.
there is another thing. You have to focus on the important things. For example, what is more important, wall or protect your villagers?
Definitely protect the villagers.
For example, here, well, that's a bad decision. Stop walling your base. As I told you, wall your resources, make the stable, make villagers in a continued way.
Hmm,
That's important. That's an important thing.
gotcha.
Not finish your wall. If you kill my scouts and you stop the pressure, at this point you continue walling your base. Not in the moment that you are under pressure.
Hmm. Okay.
This is
So,
this is like a inactive villager because it's walling, but it's
mhm.
not taking a resource for the defense.
So if the enemy starts to attack and be aggressive, then you want to wall your resources. If you
And
are
forget
not
the
being
wall.
attacked, then you want to wall your base. Finish walling your base,
Exactly.
right? Okay.
Forget the wall. Be focused on the army.
Hmm.
That's a thing that you have to learn in the practice and learn what is more important. Because in another case, maybe it's an example. Okay, you kill my scouts, and now you are on my base with the scouts trying to enter, and you are here knocking my door.
Hmm.
What is more important? Be focused on trying to enter to my base, or or finishing the wall.
Probably finishing your wall, right?
Mm,
Or is that
not.
not right?
No, it's not right. Why? Because, well, in this case, well, I'm giving you the answer. You're trying to enter very near from my barracks. I
Hmm.
can
I see.
make a pikeman and I
Yeah,
can give
pikeman
you
is
your 2 or 3 scouts and you lose the pressure.
true.
If you are here on my base, you have to try to think what I am thinking. In this case, oh, I am under pressure. It's not a good idea to go to your base and continue an attack. First, I to kill your units to go to attack again.
Hmm.
So, and it's
Would in that
here.
case?
It's important thing to or not
Mhm.
important things. It's more important to focus on the attack than continue the volume. Also, I'm not telling you that you don't have to make the wall. Make the wall, but be more focused on the attack.
If you're able to kill your opponent, the people who are being aggressive, would you counterattack immediately, or would you wait until your base is fully secure?
No, immediately.
Okay.
Because if the pressure is on the base, you are earning time to complete the wall. It's like at the beginning. Don't wait to go to 2 scouts or 3 scouts to attack. Just with 1 scout, you are giving pressure to the opponent.
Hmm.
It's the same here.
Okay, that's good to know.
Okay, so continue here. For example, why this is a bad idea? Because the wall is very big. You're going
Hmm.
to take a lot of time um, trying to complete the wall.
Right.
So it's better to water your resources.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, I'm going to put your point of view and watch what are you watching. Okay, make farms. It's okay.
Right. So I started making farms since I had um I was trying to see what you were doing with your scouts, and then I just let my villagers go to gold instead of, trying to wall up my resources. So that was definitely my issue there. And then, you know, I started creating. This is just when I stopped paying attention. So, um, I think at this point I was just trying to create more pikemen to try
Okay.
to finish you. But then
Don't
I tried a
forget
quick
to
wall.
make villagers.
Hmm.
Remember that these are villagers like that are not born
Yeah, it's
and
not
they are
being
like killed.
exactly. So after this, I stopped making villagers, and then I just try to wall up my resources, like you said. But even still,
It, it's quite late,
yeah, way
isn't
too
it?
late. So I know that now. That's good to know. So it should be an immediate reaction once you're inside my base to wall up.
Yes.
my
It's
resources, because yeah, after this I just started
because you're
fall
open.
apart.
That's the answer.
A lot of idle villagers and a lot of time not creating villagers.
Yeah. For example, you have at this moment at this point 25 villagers, and I have 31. It's like I killed you 6 villagers, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that I just killed you two.
Right.
But for the villagers that don't burn, it's like I killed you six,
Exactly.
and that's a big hit for you.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing that I make it to you, try to do to the other ones.
Mm. Sounds good.
Okay, that's another mistake that I want to tell you. Well, first I want to ask you, why do you want to make farms around this
So
building?
I just made farms because that's usually what I'm used to doing after the berries run out. Then I start creating farms around the mill. But in this case, yeah, it's a bad idea because that's the side that's open, and
Hmm.
so I should have just created those farms around my town center instead. So it's in range of, you know, if I were to garrison the villagers, they would be able to shoot arrows at you since you're too close. But since I built the farms at the mill, they're outside of the range of town center,
Exactly,
and so
and
that's
also,
it's more dangerous.
I don't know if you do it this because have you ever watched? Well, I don't know. It's a question because I don't know.
Mhm.
Watch Era Stream or Viper or Tablet
Oh yes, uh-huh.
when they
Yeah, I
play.
watch Hare and Viper.
Yeah, well, they used to make farms near to this building. What
Hmm.
is the name?
So this is the mill,
The mill.
the mill. Hmm.
Yeah, they frequently do it near, and well, if I take that idea, maybe I'm wrong. Why it's not a good idea to make the farms near to the mill? But I tell you why. For our level, is bad because they do this activity because they have a lot of macro. No, it's not macro. The word is multitasking.
Mm.
To pay attention to the scouts, pay attention to the town center, pay attention to not be open here, and pay attention to if they watch the scouts that they are coming, they garrison the villagers on the town center, but
Hmm.
we don't have that level of multitasking.
Right.
So for us, it's better to make it near to the town center. If you
Okay.
have a very good multitasking to know when you're under attack, do it in this way. But at this point, try not to do it.
Gotcha.
It's not a bad idea, but for our level, it is.
Hmm. I'll try to remember that in in my future games.
Yes.
Just try to build
Oh,
it around the town
I,
center.
I told you you have this track. Watch it again. I don't know how many hours we are right now speaking.
For this one, I think it's a
Two.
yeah. Hmm. It's like a tiny bit over 2 hours, I
Okay.
think.
Do you have time or you to do something after this thing?
No, I'll have to jump off after this lesson.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Because I wanted to play one more game with you, but not against. You play with me against with the no against the IAEI,
Mhm. So it gets the
but
AI for sure.
but with the same point of view. I mean, using both the same civilization.
Hmm. I see. Yeah, that
And
sounds like a good idea.
and also, if we play in that way,
Mhm.
you will get the rec for this build order to do it again by yourself
Mhm.
in other matches.
For sure.
So maybe we can do that right now because at this point, and I tell you what I do. I was running to you in circles in your
Mhm.
base. I was earning
I was
time.
just trying to follow you.
Um, I think there is no more information that we can catch here.
Yeah, at this point it was just it's a bad idea to have so many on gold at the start of the game, and then to wall towards my enemy base, but to use that scouting uh, uh, it's not a procedure. It's the scouting method, right? To scout
Okay.
around on the edge of the map after I found my resources.
Okay. So, if is it okay if we make this this last match right now?
I have to jump off. I'm sorry, Tilin, but
Oh, no, no, don't
we'll
worry.
we'll be able to do this later. Are you um what day next week works for you?
Next week.
Hmm.
All right. You told me that you take just one day of the week, right?
That's right.
To
That's
play
right.
Age of Empire. No, don't worry. Well, right now I am vacations. Maybe you can give me your phone. We can talk later because, and I told you that I don't know if I told you I'm working on a pizza, pizza in a pizza restaurant.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So
I used to work at
so
Domino's.
the also in a part time.
Mhm.
So my time for working is not always the same. For
Gotcha.
example, this week I'm working on the morning, but maybe the next week I will work on the night. So I don't know.
Okay.
This Sunday I will know, and which is my schedule.
Hmm.
So
Um,
do you want to give me your phone?
the, so I'll be on Steam, or I'll be on Discord often. So maybe what you can do
Okay.
is reach out to me when you see me on Discord, and
Okay.
we'll be able to set it up that way.
Okay. I want to ask you. It's a question. Don't worry.
Mhm.
This Saturday, are you busy?
Yes. I'll be out of town. I'm going hiking
Oh,
for the
nice.
weekend.
Hiking.
Yeah.
Excuse me, my English. On foot, on
Mhm.
bicycle.
On foot. Yeah. We'll stay overnight in a tent, and then
Ah,
so it's
okay,
on the
okay.
beach. Should be pretty fun.
Yes, I see. When I was younger, I do that.
When you were younger, you're still young, Tillen.
Well, more younger. When I was 14 years old with the Scouts,
Oh,
the
nice.
Boy
Okay.
Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to do that when I was more younger.
Hmm.
So okay,
It's never
I will write to you on Monday maybe,
okay.
when I done my scale. Thanks for your attention and your patience
Yeah, no,
for
of
learning.
course. It's always fun to play with others and to learn something new, because I definitely would be doing the same thing over and over again unless you said something. So I appreciate that, Tillen. Thank you.